One of the most transformative scientific discoveries of the past decade is the realization that our gut microbiome, those trillions of bacteria living quietly in the digestive tract, is not just a digestive partner, but a major influence on brain health. Now, a groundbreaking study mapping the microbiomes of nearly 70,000 adults has identified specific brain-friendly bacterial strains that consistently predict sharper memory, better cognitive performance, and healthier aging. And perhaps the most important finding is this: many of these beneficial strains decline as we get older, but the decline is not inevitable. Lifestyle, diet, and even targeted interventions may help preserve them. The scale of the research is what makes it so compelling. Scientists used advanced sequencing techniques to analyze stool samples from tens of thousands of people ranging from young adults to those well into their 80s. Alongside this, participants completed cognitive assessments measuring working memory, long-term recall, and attention. By comparing bacterial profiles with cognitive outcomes, researchers were able to identify clear microbial signatures associated with a sharper, more resilient brain. Certain groups of bacteria stood out immediately: species from the genera Bifidobacterium, Akkermansia, Roseburia, and Faecalibacterium. These microbes are known to produce short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, which plays a crucial role in lowering inflammation, enhancing the gut barrier, and even improving energy metabolism in the brain. Participants whose microbiomes were rich in these butyrate-producing bacteria performed substantially better on memory tests. They showed faster recall, more stable attention, and healthier cognitive aging trajectories. What surprises researchers is how elegantly these microbes influence the brain. Butyrate and related metabolites act like biochemical messengers. They cross into the bloodstream, interact with the vagus nerve, and modulate inflammation throughout the body. They also encourage the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which enhances neuroplasticity, supports the formation of new synapses, and strengthens memory circuits. In other words, these bacteria help the brain stay adaptable, youthful, and ready to learn. The study also revealed that individuals with richer microbial diversity had healthier levels of neurotransmitter precursors like tryptophan and tyrosine, molecules used to produce serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. This biochemical landscape is associated not just with clearer thinking, but with better mood regulation, emotional stability, and stress resilience. It's a dynamic picture. When the gut ecosystem thrives, the brain gains steady biochemical resources to stay engaged and mentally balanced. However, the findings also showed a clear pattern. These beneficial bacteria decline steadily with age, especially after 60. But the good news is that the decline varies dramatically from person to person, and this variation appears strongly linked to lifestyle. People who ate more fiber, more fermented foods, more polyphenol-rich plants such as berries, greens, and teas, and who maintained regular physical activity had microbiomes that looked years younger than their peers. Their cognitive test scores reflected that advantage. This connection between habits and microbial age offers a hopeful message. The aging of the microbiome isn't fixed. It responds to dietary choices, sleep quality, stress levels, and even exposure to natural environments. The study suggests that protecting these brain-friendly bacteria might be one of the most practical, impactful strategies for preserving memory and cognitive sharpness in later life. Another encouraging insight is the potential for future interventions. Researchers are now exploring whether targeted probiotics, prebiotic fibers, or even microbiome-guided nutrition plans could help restore declining bacterial populations. Early pilot studies show that adding fermentable fibers such as inulin, resistant starch, or galacto-oligosaccharides can significantly increase butyrate-producing bacteria in just a few weeks. Fermented foods like kefir, kimchi, yogurt, miso, and sauerkraut produce similar effects, often with parallel improvements in mood or sleep quality. Even more exciting are emerging findings on Akkermansia, a bacterium strongly associated with metabolic health and cognitive resilience. Although once considered rare and fragile, it appears surprisingly responsive to polyphenol-rich foods, especially berries, pomegranates, cocoa, and green tea. This means older adults may be able to support the growth of these valuable strains through everyday dietary choices. What this vast study ultimately demonstrates is that the gut-brain axis remains flexible throughout life. The microbiome does not drift downward uncontrollably with age. It can be supported, nourished, and strengthened. And because these bacteria influence inflammation, neurotransmitters, and neuroplasticity, preserving them may be one of the most accessible ways to protect long-term brain health. In a world where cognitive decline feels like a looming challenge for so many families, the discovery of brain-friendly, bacterial profiles is deeply uplifting. It suggests that the path to better memory may begin not in specialized medical treatments, but in the richness of the gut ecosystem we cultivate each day. Through food, lifestyle, and emerging interventions, we may be able to help the aging brain stay sharper, clearer, and more resilient, guided by the tiny, unseen allies living within us.